We began this conversation with a historical perspective, but also with the understanding where we are in this contemporary times. We're in a very, very serious situation. And we're sending out an alarm. We're sending out an alert. We were told that when this whole earth begins to deteriorate, there's going to be certain signals that will alert you to the degradation. And the first one was the acceleration of the winds. They said, watch the winds. When the winds start to accelerate, you're in a downgrade. And they said, and how people treat their children. Watch how people treat their children. When they abuse and misuse the children, you're in a downgrade. You don't have to go far to see. So 7 billion people, soon to be 8, soon to be 9, and we're caught in nature's law of compound. In 1950, 2.5 billion people in the world. That's 64 years ago. And today, 64 years later, we have 7 billion people. That's a problem. That's a compound action that you're not controlling. And so we've created what they call a global warming, a situation where carbon has got into the air to such an extent now that it's impacted the very system that supports this whole planetary system. You've impacted a system. And what's the result of that carbon? What is the result of that? Toxic gases that we're releasing is that it too is compounding. And so it's causing the ice to melt. And the ice is melting very fast. There was a great writer, his name was Hemingway, and he wrote a story about the snows of Kilimanjaro. There's no snow there anymore. It's gone. And you would think that that would concern people. You would think that they would be concerned that the ice is melting so fast. The waters are rising, and we're experiencing really change, severe change. You're not going to fix that. There's no screwdriver, there's no wrench, there's no instruments going to fix that. It's only the conduct of the people working with nature and its own laws that will bring that back into any kind of a peaceful, comprehensive way of life. 2000, the year 2000, we were invited to the United Nations by a great gathering of religious spiritual leaders. And they asked us to make a message, and so we made that message. And that message was, the ice is melting. And no matter how profound your declarations are, and no matter how mind-bending, influential those statements are, the ice is melting. It's not listening to your words. It's not listening to your ego. It's not listening to your ideas. It's simply melting. Because that's a law. That's nature's law. And so nature will prevail. When the peacemaker planted that great tree of peace here, a very symbolic tree that he planted, and he said this tree is going to reach to the sky and everyone can see it, this great tree of peace, based on the spiritual laws of creation. And he said to our leaders and all the people, he said, never challenge those laws because you will not prevail. That's good instruction. but something that we don't listen to and something that we haven't done. So we've challenged those laws right up to right now, and we seem to be hell-bent, I guess, if you want to go in that direction. There'll be plenty hell-bent from the consequence of what we're doing now. And as global warming advances and heat comes and rain comes, where it will be wetter. Here it's going to get much wetter than it is. We'll have a hard time getting your plant in the ground in the spring because it'll be too much rain. And then it will dry out at the end of the year. When you're looking for rain, you're going to get it. And then where it's dry, it's going to get drier. Right now, California is in a crisis. They have 1 year of water left. Can you imagine? No, it's hard to imagine. Here is the most brilliant, as they tell us, technologically smart people in the world running out of water. And being surprised by it. Oh, how come we're running out of water? What happened? It's pretty late in the day. It's pretty late in the day. But let's see how this goes. Beetles. Nature. You can't negotiate with a beetle. They're not going to listen to you. He's just going to eat your trees. That's all he's going to do. Everything was in balance at one time. The beetle could eat the tree. The tree would survive. But now, with things getting warmer, the beetle has 2 life cycles. The second life cycle will kill that tree in 1 year. And that's what he's doing. He's chewing his way right up the West Coast, all the way to Alaska. He's killing trees. He's over here. Just coming over here. He's going to chew these trees down now. How do you negotiate with a beetle? Well, you don't. You can't. He's got a different leader. He listens to a different leader. Nature. That's what Peacemaker said. Don't challenge those laws because you can't prevail. And so common sense and the message that we're sending you right now, the message we're talking to you about, what we're saying is listen. Listen. We're old people. That's where indigenous people have something to add to this discussion. Because they talk about long-range thinking. They talk about 7 generations. They talk about responsibility to the future. No discussion about gold or silver or money. Discussion about protecting water, protecting life. That's what this discussion is about now. We don't have a lot of time. And so this message that we're sending, this message that we're saying right now is a message of common sense. It's just common sense to do what's right, to share. The message is to share equally everything. And in the prophecies that we have, that we've been told, and we're careful with those prophecies because they're not good. They're not good. But there is hope in that prophecy when the Peacemaker said, it's up to you. When the Peacemaker finished this great work here, a woman asked him, she said, well, now that you've done all this, how long is it going to last? And he said, that's up to you. So everything is in our hands. It's up to us. There's no lightning coming, no savior coming, no nothing coming, only the law. One way or the other. Don't wait. So the fight is on, I would say. Not over. It's not over at all. I think we're We're at a good time. It's a good time to be here, actually. A good time to be in a fight. This is a good time. Let's see what you're made of. Let's see how strong you are. Value change for survival. Change your values. The other equation is, I'm not going to be here. Simple as that.